but we're going to work that out.
All right, we are now recording.
All righty then. Hey, y'all. Go ahead and introduce myself. It's Amber. Happy Monday. It's Q&A Mondays here over on Clubhouse. Hey to our cousins over on Facebook. I'm the co-founder of the Herpes Can Never movement. My confidence is contagious. I've been called to help women feel unashamed, empowered, and worthy, and I'm using my real life experiences to do so. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm so thankful to have you all in the building. Certified life coach. Good morning, Shayna.
Rich and Divine Rising. My name is Shayna Singleton, aka the Herpes Goddess, Clapback Queen. I am the founder of the Herpes Can Never movement, growing the largest herpes community of over 230K because I inspire people to love themselves more. The mission is to make everyone uncomfortable until the herpes community feels comfortable being open about their status and proud of their sexuality. I'm so happy to have you all here with us bright and early, 7 a.m. Q&A Mondays. Amber says she got mad questions for us to answer, so I'm super excited about that. Hi to our cousins over on Facebook. Once again, if you're trying to ask any questions, you have to join us here on Clubhouse today. We won't be able to see your questions until after the live. Whew. Amber, ready to get started?
Yes. Okay. Am I still echoing or I'm good?
You're good.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Hey to everyone in the room. Thank you for being here. And to those listening via stream, hello. Okay, so actually this question I want to ask now came from the DMs, but I thought it was a good one to share. I think she has to be referencing you, I believe, Shayna. It says, I want to start off by saying that you are truly amazing. Me and my fiance just found out that we both have HSV2, still in shock. Went through a number of emotions, trying to figure out how and when and how long we've had it.
Okay, so that's very nice. One, thank you. Two, is there a question? Did I miss it, Amber? We're trying to figure out how and when we got herpes. Can you repeat that, please? I don't know where my mind just went. Hello, are we still here? Amber, are you still there? Okay, seems like we lost Amber, everyone, which is fine. I guess I can find some questions for us this morning. I don't know where Amber went. She was talking and then she disappeared on us. Let me go ahead to the Instagram and see if I can find what she was talking about. Amber, we can't hear you if you're talking, my love. Just want to throw that out there. Let's see here what we have. Ooh. Amber. Okay, we lost Amber, everyone. I'm so sorry. Pamela, can you still hear Amber? Can you pull up to the stage real quick? Is it just me? Is it just me? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Oh, that's so strange. Amber was talking and then she just stopped talking. Did you hear the question, Pamela?
I didn't unmute her mic from your spot. From your moderator.
I can't do that.
There she goes. I made you a moderator. Oh, thanks. Can you hear us?
Amber, we hear you now, but you were talking and you just disappeared. You just left.
I have no idea. I don't know what is going on. It's driving me insane. Are you in a new spot? No, I'm in my house, the same place I'm always in. I was looking to your Wi-Fi, but we're back.
All right.
Hey. Okay, so should I try to reread it one more time?
Please, because I don't know the question at all. I didn't get it. I'm like, I heard the compliment part. And I'm like, okay, yay, thank you. I don't know what to say.
Okay, we good. I was like, Lord, you will not win this morning. Okay, let's start off one more time. Because I want to start off by saying that you are truly amazing. Me and my fiance just found out we have HSV2, still in shock. Went through a number of emotions, trying to figure out how and when and how long we've had it. We are in a lesbian relationship and are trying to figure out how we're going to have a sexual relationship, being that we have it. Do you have any advice you can give us?
Oh, yes, I do. Join our workshop on the 9th. We're talking about sex talk disclosure and how to better protect your partners. There we go. Boom. Next.
That was a good one. I need to, like, I'm going to send everybody in our Instagram DMs a link to our workshop that's happening, because everybody in here, I'm sure, could benefit, because they're probably asking the same questions around disclosure, around sex, and around outbreaks.
Exactly. So if you want to get to know how to better protect your partner, how to disclose, how to learn your triggers and prodrome symptoms, the 2 workshops we're hosting this April, it's all about that. If you miss it, you just miss it. You just ain't gonna know shit. But if you join us, you're gonna learn some shit. So you gotta mess with us. You gotta fool around with me and Amber. We're gonna get you there. We're gonna get you right. We're gonna get you together. That is a good question.
Well, that is a good question. No, I don't think we've had that specific question before. But I got another one. Here we go. On the heels of that one. So it says, I have HSB, but the relationship stuff is hard for me. Do you think you tell someone the moment you start liking each other, or wait until you get a little more serious? I feel like I'm obligated from the start and I'm only 18. It's still hard. That's another one for the workshop. Jesus.
Tell somebody when you like yourself. You worry about other people liking you. It ain't time then. It's time to tell somebody once you learn how to like yourself. But right now you don't like yourself because you're so worried about other people liking you. To validate something within yourself.
Yes.
Amber.
I don't know if it was on Patreon. I don't know when you said it, but you said we seek, I guess, love or like from others, when in all actuality, our like and our love for ourselves has to be enough.
Yep.
First.
Yep.
In order for it, because when you love and like yourself, really love yourself, really like who you are, anybody else who likes you is just an added bonus. It isn't a necessity. It isn't a requirement. It's just icing on top of the bomb cake that can be eaten with or without icing because it's so fire. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how you have to view yourself, as so much value, to where if anyone does not like you or reject you for any reason, herpes included, then you are just simply not attracted to someone who doesn't see who you are. But you've got to see who you are first.
Yep. When you go into relations trying to fill a void within yourself through somebody else, that relationship that you're going into is always going to disappoint you because you're already setting the expectations too high. You cannot expect somebody to love you more than you love yourself. You cannot expect somebody to show up for you if you don't show up for yourself. And we do that a lot. We go into these relationships expecting this certain type of love that we don't even give to ourselves. So it's important that you go through that self-love journey and you make sure that your passions is enough, your happiness is enough, your love is enough for you to last a lifetime. Be happy with you. Be so content with you that a relationship can come or not come. Be that secure with yourself before you even think about putting yourself out there. Ooh, good question, Amber. Thank you.
No worries. Okay. I'm looking for another one. Gosh, this question comes up too, and I'm just like, Lord have mercy. My question is, how can I date someone and have sexual intercourse with them without getting them infected? I mean, I don't know why I hate that word. I just began dating a guy. He knows that I have herpes, but he has questions about us being together, and if things work out, being sexually active with him, becoming herpes positive. And that reminds me of Zare's situation.
Well, you and your boyfriend should join us for the sex talk on April 9th.
Right, I'm gonna put this in the link for everybody's questions, because everyone's questions fall into that category. You want to learn about sex and how to have sex and how to make sure our partners don't get it, when if you're putting, again, also that unrealistic expectation, that pressure on yourself to try to prevent yourself from passing the virus along, even then you'll disappoint yourself, because your guilt will eat you up inside, wondering, you won't even be able to enjoy the sex because you're too busy trying to figure out if you're passing the virus along or not. And that should not be a concern. If you're having sex with somebody and you're worried about passing the virus, again, we got to reevaluate.
Maybe why are you having sex with that person? If a person is making you feel a way about something you cannot help in your life, why are you with that person? For why? For what?
Really, why?
I'm trying to figure it out.
Ask yourself why.
No person that you're having sex with should make you feel as though you're a risk to be taken, that they're worried to have sex with you because they're afraid of getting herpes. If that's the case, then baby, you can step and go find somebody for you, because you ain't for me. This is what comes with me. I'm gonna protect you the best way I possibly can. But at the end of the day, fucking herpes happens, and you probably already have motherfucking herpes. That's one. If it's not dormant in your body, okay, like if it's not dormant in your body already. But I'm gonna do what I need to do to protect you. But at the end of the day, there's no 100% way of preventing the spread of herpes. Everyone's percentages changes, whether you're on antivirals, whether you've changed your lifestyle, whether you know your prodrome symptoms, you know your triggers, the list goes on. But if you're making me worried about that, if I have to walk on, sex on eggshells, does that make any sense? Walk on eggshells, sex on. If I have to sex on eggshells,
makes a whole lot of sense.
I don't want to have sex. Okay. Period. I'm not sexing on eggshells. Amber.
Big energy. I'm not sexing on eggshells. That's a quote, Shayna.
For real, facts. I'm really not.
Post that over on our Instagram. That's one of your quotes. Because for real though, you shouldn't have to do anything on eggshells. But it goes back to you being comfortable and confident and open and calm and just honest. How do you disclose? Oh, we're going to get into disclosures at our workshop, but how do you disclose? I'll just give you this little nugget. It just starts with the truth. And so many of us are hesitant in dealing with our truths, that we want to create this facade. We want to create this scenario. We want to create this sob story, or we want to create this story that places the blame on the other person or deflects from our participation in the part of our lives where we might have contracted herpes. So it's just about when you are comfortable with your truth, when you can stand in your truth, and which is your power, you won't have to figure out how to disclose. That's not going to be an issue. So
thank you, Amber.
Welcome, y'all. It's Q&A Mondays. If anyone has a question, just raise your hand and we'll invite you up to the stage. If you have a question about your herpes, if you have a question for Shayna or myself, raise your hand and we'll bring you up to the stage. That's what we do each and every Monday from 7 to 8 a.m. We're here. And shout out to everyone listening to us via Zoom or via stream over on our Facebook page. And if you haven't joined our private Facebook page, you can get to that with our Instagram profiles, which are connected here over on Clubhouse. And you can log on to our Facebook group, which is cracking over there. Closing in on 1,000 members.
Yes, we are, really quickly. So I'm excited to see that. The love is real. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got Pamela coming to the stage. Welcome.
So I know the answer to this question, but I just want to ask it. Maybe somebody out there needs to know it. Can I transfer my herpes around my body? Great question, Pamela. The short answer is you can. And that's why it's so important to just learn your body. I love that. So on top of the disclosure conversation, body journaling. And so body journaling is also a workshop that we're going to be doing. And I think that's going to be super important because who was I talking to? I was just talking to somebody. Oh, okay. One of my life coaching clients. She said, I didn't know that my herpes comes back. My outbreaks come back in the same spot. she's just now being aware that her outbreaks come back in the same spot. And I was talking to her about, yes, generally that's where, your outbreak comes, where you made contact with the other person. And she was talking about when she was having an outbreak, how I was telling her how she had to be careful if she touched herself in that area or made contact with that area in another area, depending on where you have it, how you can pass the virus or spread it onto different parts of your body. Shane?
This is when I'll be wishing Rich was here, because he can answer those questions with the details behind it to explain to us why it's that way.
Yes.
I should make a side note to get y'all the facts, but yes, you can. So be careful. As to say, don't touch the area when you're having an outbreak. Try to use gloves. No underwears. You want a free ball. Razors, some people pass it to their underarms that way. A lot of doctors have herpetic whitlow because of that, examining. So yeah, simple answer is a yes. Thank you, Pamela. That was a great question.
It was. Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you. I have one more part to my question. Sorry. Can my herpes outbreak just look like a regular bump, or is my herpes outbreak always going to look scary?
Your herpes outbreak is going to look like a regular bump, or it can look like this circle on your body with several little bumps inside of the circle. So it'll look like several little tiny like whiteheads inside of it's probably, the circle's like the size of a centimeter. It can be even smaller than that sometimes. But if you're having trouble trying to figure out the difference between your razor bump or a herpes outbreak, that's how you can tell the difference. If you're not used to seeing your herpes outbreak, it's gonna look like a regular razor bump or ingrown hair or anything in that line for you, because you've never seen a herpes outbreak before. But once you start looking at your outbreaks, you can tell the difference and you know exactly what a herpes outbreak looks like. By this week, I should have pictures of my outbreak on our Patreon for our tier 3 members. So if you're interested, go ahead and join us. Meet us there on Patreon. Amber?
Thank you for that, Shayna. Yes, so I'm learning, because I've had razor bumps in the past, or ingrown hairs, I should say, in the past, that I just deemed it as an ingrown hair. I pulled the hair out, the bump went down, there we go. But I never have taken the time to actually gone and got it cultured so that the gynecologist can tell me what exactly it is. So you're right. It can look from something like a razor bump, like ingrown hair, all the way up to looks like what Shayna was describing. I've never had an outbreak that resembled what her outbreak, the way she described it, to look. But you can't just pinpoint what this looks like herpes or this is not herpes. The best way to know if you're having a genital outbreak is to go get that area swabbed and then, test it that way by a gynecologist, because the eye test alone is not going to do it.
Listen, if you cold sores, my loves, those are herpes outbreak. So if you ever wanted to know what a herpes outbreak looks like, look at somebody's herpes outbreak on their lip. It's right there. It can be, I've seen people have just a bump on their lip to people have big ass sections of an outbreak. Like it seems like they're having a cluster of outbreaks. But that also happens when you have herpes and you decide not to deal with your herpes and you decide not to learn about your herpes. You start, your herpes will spread all over the place. I've seen somebody have it all throughout their mouth, on the roof of their mouth, the bottom of their mouth, in the back of their throats, and on their lips. I don't know what the fuck they were doing for that to happen. I don't know what happened, what went south, but I've been living with herpes for 6 years now, so I think I've got it under control. Welcome to the stage, Rita.
Hey, good morning. I guess I was just wondering, and you end up saying you don't know, but like, any ideas as to how that could have happened? Like getting it from like on the outside of your lip all the way into your mouth.
I mean, you can have herpes inside of your throat. You can have it on the roof of your mouth. I mean, not everyone gets an outbreak at the same spot every single time. I thought that was something that happened to everyone, but that's not something that happens to everyone. That's something that happens to me and some other women and some other men. But some people in the community, their outbreaks show up in different spots every single time. Someone with HSV2 probably had an outbreak on their butt, then they noticed they had one on their genitals, and then they're having another one on their finger right now, or their armpits right now. So as to why that may happen, I don't know, but I will get that information for you. I don't want to sit here and lie to you, but I also can text Rich today and see if he knows the answer to that question. But as far as the places you can get herpes, your throat, your eyes, your ears, your fingers, your lips, outside of your mouth, inside of your mouth, in your throat, by your cervix, inside of your vagina. Why does that happen? Let's think. Say if you had a man who has herpes on his penis, right? And you're giving him oral sex and he's not having an outbreak, but he's going through viral shedding. And his, you know what I'm saying? Your throat, your cervix. Yeah. So thank you,
Rita. That was a great question. Okay, let's see. I see this one all the time. I think it's important that we reiterate it just because it's so commonly asked. Can I transmit if I do not have any symptoms? Can I transmit the virus if I'm not having any symptoms?
How you know you're not having any symptoms?
I mean, I guess when I say they're not having any symptoms, they're assuming they're not having any physical symptoms that they could see or feel.
Oh, that's what they, okay, so they mean, can you spread herpes if you're not having an outbreak?
Yes.
Because you can still be experiencing symptoms without having an outbreak. See, that's when the question gets tricky.
It does. They said symptoms specifically.
Yeah, they didn't say outbreak. So
I guess if they're all together feeling as if they're not feeling like they're having any symptoms, they're not aware of the fact that they're having prodrome symptoms or they're experiencing it, and they don't also see a physical outbreak, are you still able to pass the virus?
You're always able to pass the virus. One.
You're always able to pass the virus. Yeah, hear that?
That's number one. Your chances can fall way below 1%, depending on your lifestyle, depending on what you know, depending on what you do. But no matter what, the herpes person who is highly contagious always has an outbreak. You know what I'm saying? It's always don't know any shit about their herpes and they're going through it back to back to back to back. I used to be that person, y'all. That person can really spread the motherfucking virus, okay? Versus the person who's gotten their outbreaks under control, figured it out, learned their symptoms, learned their triggers, might also take antivirals, might also protect themselves, get tested, their partner get tested, you know, just do everything they're supposed to be doing. Their chances might fall way below 1%. So it's different for everyone. It's really on you. Don't have sex during prodrome symptoms. Don't have sex during outbreaks. That's the two biggie for me. Don't have sex during outbreak. Don't have sex during your prodrome symptoms. Your prodrome symptoms usually means that you're going through viral shedding. That's what happens before an outbreak. So even if your outbreak does not come, if your prodrome symptoms show, don't have sex.
Love that, love that, love that. So that was good. I mean, you just literally answered it. And I have another one for you too, because this is specifically for someone who's been pregnant before and had their baby also while having herpes. It says, will having herpes affect my pregnancy?
Will have her? It depends on the woman. because some women, when they're pregnant, they get back to back outbreaks because their body is making a baby, so their immune systems ain't really, trying to fight the virus too much, and they end up experiencing a lot of outbreaks during pregnancy, and then they have to have a C-section. Ladies, ain't nothing wrong with a C-section. A C-section is a normal birth. Let me throw that out there right now. If that's what you're worried about, get it out your head, because anything can happen to make you have a C-section outside of herpes. So let's just throw that out of our heads. Two, other than that, no, your doctor is going to put you on medication months before your baby is born. There's going to be a complete examination of your cervix and your genital areas, and they're going to deem whether or not it's safe for you to deliver vaginally or not. I had a baby. I delivered my baby vaginally. My son is herpes negative. So.
Yes, thank you, Shayna. That's, I think that's encouraging for people to hear, because I feel like as women, few things run through our minds when we find out we have herpes. Like, okay, and on the list is definitely talking about pregnancy or thinking about pregnancy, and if you're going to be able to conceive, if you're going to be able to deliver your baby vaginally, if you're going to be able to, people are like, get pregnant at all. I mean, the host of questions and the thoughts that run through your mind. I think for women, that's definitely at the top of the list. So there's so much misinformation and cloudiness around that subject. So I'm glad that we could have you give your experience as someone who has had a baby while also have been tested positive for herpes at the same time. Literally at the same time you found out. Yep. At the same time. So thank you for that.
All right. We got questions today. I'm hyped. Thanks, Amber, for pulling up with the questions today.
Girl, I've just been like, oh Lord. I had a coaching client who just feels like she has to stay in this or deal with this person because she's disclosed to him, and now she's recently found out. Well, he said, and this is the thing I'm talking about, he told her they're off again, on again, it's toxic, it's dysfunctional, but he's most recently told her, and this is what she booked her session about, because he told her that she gave him herpes. It's the latest thing is, well, you did give me the virus. And she's like, now tailspin back into this depression because she doesn't even know for sure, because she hasn't seen his results. She's going off his word, number one, which after the stuff that they've been through, I would question that altogether. But number two, even if she did so happen to give him the virus, she's dealing with that depression and gone back off the, gone over back into this cycle again. I'm trying to help her get out of that, but it's just like, we put so much weight and pressure and negativity on ourselves because we have herpes, and it just makes us feel like, well, can make you feel like, because it doesn't make me feel like, but it can make you feel like, this outcast, this leper, like just the words that she was using how she felt about herself. And I was just like, Lord, no. So,
well,
oh yeah, I got some questions today.
That's exactly what she gets going into a relationship, not accepting her herpes status. You see what happens there, y'all? Now your partner can manipulate you. You see, you attract the manipulators, the narcissists. They make you feel bad about your herpes. They know that's something you don't like about yourself. So in every argument, every time they got something to pick on you about, they're going to throw that herpes up in the air because they know how you feel about it. They know.
That's so good.
That's exactly what happens when you go into a relationship without accepting your herpes. What Amber's client is going through. I'm so glad that you brought that up, because that example is just like, oh, you see, you have to accept your status.
Take our word for it. Literally, it's what's happening out here.
Hey, I wanted to just say, like, I was thinking about it as you guys were talking. I was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I wasn't sure if it was on here or Zoom, but you guys said about how you should like ask for results. And before, I never thought about that, because I was like, oh, I have this thing, and like I had the same perspective as like this woman has, because even though we do have herpes, like we should require to see the results of somebody else.
Yes.
You know, we should still try to like not view ourselves as, like you said, as them girls to the lever, but like, okay, this is something we have, but I want to see your results too to make sure I'm protecting myself. So I just like wanted to add that.
Thank you, Rita. And that's facts, because first of all, I don't want chlamydia. I don't want gonorrhea. I don't want trick. I don't want no scabies. I don't want no lice down there. I don't want syphilis. I don't want these things, y'all. Okay. Even the other lifelong viruses, I don't want them. I don't want HIV. I don't want HPV. I don't want to add to my herpes. If it happens, it happens, and I went into it making the adult decision and sexually responsible and healthy. But I want to be aware of what is going on before I'm having sex. Sex is huge, y'all. You're asking, you're switching, you're swapping bodily fluids with somebody else, and yet we can't have these conversations beforehand. We have to be able to ask our partners before you have the opportunity of even getting any of this. I need to see your papers, period. You don't show me the papers, you don't get none of this poom poom. And that's it. And that's it.
That's not Mary J.
Herpes or not, I don't give a fuck. I still put my pussy on a pedestal. She already mad at me because Bertha's there, okay? And I'm not trying to add to the list of people that my vagina gotta hang out with. We already got herpes. So that's where I'm at with it. Amber.
Shayna, who's Bertha for the people who don't know?
Bertha is my herpes outbreaks, y'all. She comes sometimes. She been chilling lately, but back in the day, she used to be there all the time.
And that's something, Rita, thank you so much for bringing that up and, you know, expressing how you could feel that way, because it's totally understandable how that thought might, you know, run through your mind, but it needs to keep running on out of your mind, because you are if you want to, before you allow someone into your body, you have the right to know what comes along with them. And regardless of the fact that you have herpes. And so it's a respect thing for yourself. It's an education thing for yourself. So you can make the most educated decision, with knowing all the facts. And if anyone makes you feel a type of way, like, oh, you have herpes, how you gonna ask me what I got going on? Like, next, they're obviously not the one that you need to be giving yourself to. Like, it's a big no for me.
Big no. They don't even know what they got going on. When they say that, they don't even know what they got going on. That's the scary part. That the TikTok me and Amber did together, and it's like bisexual man, straight man. I walked on the bisexual side. She walked on the straight man side. It said herpes negative, herpes positive. You already know me and Amber worked towards the herpes positive side. Then it was like, date a man who doesn't know their status, or date a man who's HIV positive and is open about their status. Me and Amber went to the HIV positive man who was open about their status. And for some reason, people are commenting disgusted. This one girl goes, I don't understand how you would willingly choose a disease-ridden bisexual man. And then I'm just kind of in my head, kind of like, so you would rather be with somebody who just don't know what the hell is going on with their penis in their body, versus be with somebody who knows exactly what they have. They know how to protect themselves. They know how to protect you. They know all about their virus. So I'm not understanding.
That was big mad when we walked on the HIV positive side.
Right.
But for real though, like, it was mad.
How are you? I don't get that. I don't understand how that triggered.
Right.
And it's sad. It's sad because irresponsible sex is praised. And yet we look down on the people living with lifelong viruses who you can't expect the community of people living with STIs to be open about their status when they are open about their status. It's kind of like, ew, I don't want you. Well, shit, you would have had sex with me if I didn't tell you I had an STI in the first place. So why don't I just go around not telling people? They're gonna have sex with me anyway. Do you see what I'm saying here, people? We put too much responsibility on the people living with the viruses to have the sex talk when it should be everyone. Whether you have an STI or not, before you have sex, you should be requiring to see one another's results. You should already be able to bring your shit up on your phone if you can. There's this thing called the Safely app. On the Safely app, you can upload your sexual health records. You can make that a requirement. If you ain't on the Safely app, I don't want you. I want to be able to see the date and time of your shit. I'm just saying. That's the self-love. That's that self-love. At some point, your self-love led you in this room.
Yes.
At some point.
Yes.
That's down to having the necessary conversations. Like I said before, the herpes disclosure, the herpes talk, the sex talk does not start and end at the time you have to disclose for the first time. It's a forever thing. Your herpes is with you forever. So you're going to be constantly talking about your herpes forever. So the person you with has to be able to accept your herpes as well as a forever thing. If they don't want to do that for you, then they need to step and you need to go find somebody else. Welcome to the stage, Jasmine. Queen, you there?
I think she's trying to figure out how to unmute herself.
Okay. Let me see if I can do that. No, I can't.
Yes, but big facts to everything you said, Shayna. Big facts.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey,
Jasmine.
Hi, thank you for inviting me on the stage. I just want to add to Shayna's point. I definitely feel like my self-love and self-esteem has led me to the room.
It's led you to the room?
Yes. Well, led me to having herpes. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We're having a little bit of a hard time hearing you.
You sound far away.
Do you think it's because of my Bluetooth headphones?
Quite possibly, yes.
Okay, I'm going to take those off and then come back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sure.
Sorry.
Ooh, Amber, you got better ears than me.
Girl, I'm like, hold on, get the pause.
I'm over here, but
like her self-love brought her to the room, I believe that's what she said.
Okay.
But she's gonna get them earphones out so you can hear Rita, Pamela, Deja, Quana.
You should have seen me. My ear was on the laptop. I was trying to
the cell phone going on, so I'm like my ears to the streets. Welcome to the room, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Pamela.
Okay. So yeah, wanting self-love is what brought me to this group. I was in a stage where I was so tired of being sad, feeling not loved. I was talking about this yesterday with my friend. I literally felt like nobody loves me. I love everybody. I give everybody love. Nobody loves me. Nobody's giving me love. And I really had to like, hold on, shawty. You can love yourself. And literally, when that clicked in my mind, from that moment forward, I tell myself I love myself and give myself a hug every day. Because when I first started to do it, it was so hard. And now it's easy. I scream it to myself every day. I love you, Pamela. And I give myself a hug because we look for love in the wrong places sometimes. And truthfully, it's sometimes why we end up in some of the situations we end up in. I feel like that's one of the reasons why I ended up where I currently am. I was looking for love in the wrong place. He wasn't providing me the right type of love, and I still was there. So this definitely was a big part of that.
Thank you so much, Pamela. We appreciate you sharing that. We love you. We're so glad. We see your growth every single day. And we're so thankful that you're deciding to love you and stop looking at, we're looking for love, looking for someone to love you. Look in the mirror, love you first before you start looking outside of yourself for love. And we're so glad that you started that journey and that led you here to us, because we cousins nailed this. Jasmine, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, much better.
Okay, so yeah, to Shayna's point, I feel like my low self-esteem led to me having herpes, and I can be honest about that. I say that because, let's see, I just got out of a breakup in January. I was in a relationship. I felt like it just wasn't working, so I broke up with my boyfriend. But, after a while, I got horny, and one thing led to another, and I met this guy who, honestly, he seemed nice enough, whatever. And so I began sleeping with him. I didn't get any papers. I guess I just didn't feel like he would have anything. And so I slept with him. Now, I have oral herpes, so it's no telling how I got it. We did use condoms, but we kissed a lot. He ate me out. Not to be graphic, but just want to kind of explain it. But I feel like if I wasn't just so in a rush to look for somebody to make me feel better or whatever, then I wouldn't have gotten myself in that situation. And I've been diagnosed with herpes for 2 weeks now. So it's been hard for me because I feel guilty, because I feel like I definitely put myself in this situation. But then I'm also angry with him because I feel like he should have known. Because when I confronted him, he didn't seem all that surprised by it. And he was just he actually said he could help me through it and stuff. But I'm just like, how can you help me through it when you put this on me? I just have a lot of, I guess, anger and hurt behind it. I don't know. But yeah, I will say it's definitely, definitely love yourself enough to ask the hard questions when you meet someone, and don't be in a rush to sleep with them.
Listen, love yourself enough so that those questions aren't hard. I need to know what's up with you before you even have a chance with me. But you're not the only one, Jasmine. I didn't have this attitude my entire life. It was enough for me to be in a relationship and my woman or my man told me that they got tested and they good for me to have sex with them. And then it was enough for me to go get tested, right? And then the doctor to come in and tell me, all right, you're good. And me to think in my head that I've been tested for everything. I've never said, hey, doc, show me my results. Can you break this down for me? What does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? Because, when people are coming for me on TikTok, this is what I say. Well, what are you looking for on your STI results that tells you if you have herpes or not? They can't even answer. Well, then, baby, you don't even know if you got herpes. So get the out of my face.
Right.
As far as how you feeling, this too shall pass, Jasmine. Take your power back and stop blaming him. Just say, damn, I didn't require to see his STI results. I was irresponsible, and moving forward, so that I don't have repeat pain and I don't have to go through this pain anymore, I'm not going to be irresponsible anymore. And I'm going to start requiring to see people's STI results. That's how I took my power back. I'm not, whoever I was with when I found out I had herpes, they're not getting any of my time or any of my energy. I'm not even placing no blame on them because the virus could have lied dormant in my body. I was young. I was having irresponsible sex out here. Even though I might not have been sleeping with everybody, but guess what? I still wasn't requiring to see test results. I think a person who doesn't require to see test results is way more irresponsible than any hoe alive. Because you have people who like sex that will be labeled a hoe that still require to see somebody's STI results. So that's my point. Let's stigmatize irresponsible sex and destigmatize living with this virus. I appreciate you for coming up here on the stage and sharing your story with us, Jasmine. Once again, this too shall pass. Herpes could never. What herpes does is it's going to make you uncomfortable, my love. And it's going to bring a lot of shit to the surface. Things that you probably should have been thinking about before your herpes is going to come up now. It's kind of going to feel like a purge, especially if you're going on this self-love journey with yourself. Herpes is going to force you to learn your body, which is a plus. It's going to put you on a path to self-discovery, which is a plus. And it's going to make you more confident. You kind of have to be. And it's going to put you on a journey of getting there. So welcome to the community, even though I know you don't want to be here, but we are all family here. We're all living with the virus here. And I just want to remind you that herpes could never. Amber?
I love everything that Shayna said. And Jasmine, thank you so much. Being 2 weeks post-diagnosis, I'm sure you're probably all over the place right now. I know I was, back in 2018 when I got diagnosed. So I have HSV2 for anyone who doesn't know. And I was diagnosed and I kind of felt like when I told the guy I believe who gave it to me, his reaction was more so like he was saying he hoped I didn't think that he did it on purpose, or he was very apologetic. So regardless of what the response was from the person who gave it to you, like Shayna said, it's now on you, and it's now on the fact that you have more ahead of you than you do behind you, because herpes was for me, what it did was it helped me go on all the things that Shayna described, and they turned out to be all pluses in my life. I got herpes when I was 32 or 30, I think I was 32. And so I was a little older, but I was out here having irresponsible sex because I wasn't having multiple partners at a time, because I hadn't had that many partners. I thought, I'm doing it right. I'm not a hoe. Back when I was shaming hoes, which I no longer do. But there was a time where I prided myself on the few amount of people I had sex with. Well, my low number still didn't stop me from getting herpes, because I was out here not requiring results. I was out here having sex with people without condoms the first time we had sex. I mean, let me get all the way real. And so herpes stopped all that, because it really did let me know, like, wow, like this, I'm not above anything. And so it sat me down and it caused me to look at myself and help me make the best decisions for me. And for that, I am so eternally grateful. So like Shayna said, welcome, cousin, to the community. And I hope that you can continue to get support here from us and get your questions answered, and to continue to go on your self-love journey and build your confidence, because I am right here today the most confident version of myself that I've ever been in my entire life, herpes positive and all. And so I'm so grateful, because herpes saved my life, and herpes can never. And so my whole man's up in this room because herpes can never, because I've decided to love myself and live in my truth and be confident about everything that came along with me. And I attracted someone who loved everything about me, herpes included, because herpes literally could never. So I just wanted to encourage you and let you guys know. I'm gonna go ahead and say my goodbyes. You wrapping up on time.
Wait, real quick,
for being in the
real quick, Amber. Listen. For my, you know what? Go ahead, Amber. Go ahead. I'm sorry I cut you off. I must just save this for another day. Let me write this down. No. Just close it.
Leaving y'all on the edge, y'all gotta come back. Hold on, y'all might need to send these workshops. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. Just make sure you don't miss any of our conversations, because the Lord only knows what we're going to talk about. I appreciate everyone for being in the room. It's Monday Q&A. We're back here on Clubhouse on Wednesdays at 8:30 in the morning. Wednesdays are for healing, but tomorrow we do have a Patreon call. It's a Zoom call. It's for those who are ready to take their healing to the next level. We do all types of wonderful things for our Patreons, and you can join our Patreon by clicking on the link in Shayna or myself's bio over on Instagram. Herpes Can Never also has its own Instagram page that I hope you're following. You can get to our Patreon over there as well. And of course, make sure you're a part of our Facebook group, which you can get through our Instagrams as well. So make sure you stay plugged in, connected with us every single place that we are, because we love having this dialogue. We love every single person showing up in the room, choosing yourself, choosing your healing, and being part of this community. So I'm so grateful for you guys. And just always, always, always remember that herpes could never.
Thank you, Amber. listen, we talking about sex on the 9th. It's a workshop. We're going to tell you how to disclose. We're going to tell you the best way to protect your partner and how to protect yourself as well. The conversation to continue, the conversations you must have, the things you must know before even diving into a sexual relationship and living with the herpes virus. So we hope to see you all there with us on the 9th. If you want to know more about the workshop, please visit our website, www.herpescouldenever.com. My name is Shayna Singleton, aka the Herpes Goddess. I appreciate you all for being here with us this morning for Q&A Mondays. I'm proud of you all. Y'all showed up for yourself, which means you want to change the narrative around your herpes status. And that is something to be proud of. There's people out there that's not dealing with their herpes. There's people out there that don't want to talk about their herpes yet, that don't want to learn about their herpes, that are having sex and not telling anybody that they have herpes. And even if that was you at one point, guess what? You're here today and you're trying to do something different. Well, you're doing something different, period. And you're changing your narrative. And I'm proud of you. I love you all. And I just want to remind you that herpes could never, ever, 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 ever,
ever all Mary. J. Blige. Peace, y'all.
Peace. She said.